We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us out and birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội gặp nhờ thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đạo lạc, tập chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Tô Su Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tha Tát Tha Tô Già Đa Già La Đê Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom and thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian, 万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Sutra, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good no advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、智者、大士、师父上人、各位智者人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa trí giả đại sư thượng tiến hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức, A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 23rd of August 2025. Thank you for joining our discussion of the Vimalakirti Sutra. Okay, and we are on slide 405. And this is the section where the Buddha showed off his spiritual powers. It's kind of interesting that before the Buddha spoke this important Dharma for our world, he manifested spiritual powers. What happened is that just before that, the elder son, along with his 500 friends, other elders' sons, each presented the Buddha with 500 canopies made of precious gems, 7 precious gems, priceless, basically. They were offered to the Buddha. And the Buddha used his spiritual power to combine them into one gigantic one, covering our Saha world. It's humongous, canopy, symbolizing that he's protecting our world. Our world is under his protection, believe it or not. And furthermore, up on that canopy, you can see the other worlds also visible within the canopy, and also Buddhas in those worlds speaking Dharma as well. You see, so this is very auspicious, very impressive of a feat of the Buddha to command our attention. Okay, he doesn't say pay attention. Okay, he simply showed off his spiritual powers is really inconceivable. And because of that, the elder son, Baoji, he was very impressed, and he sang some praises to the Buddha. Okay, and that's why where we are. He's doing. We're in the midst of the praises for what was it? 4 something. 405. Okay, very good. Thank you. And so they're talking about there are many Buddhas in the universe, and when they talk about 4 Buddhas, you can interpret it as 4 Buddhas in our worthy aeon, where Krakuchanda, Kakamuni, and Kashyapa, and Shakyamuni. Or you can interpret those 4 Buddhas as the Akshobhya Buddha, Ratnaketu Buddha, and Amitayus, and Dunbu Shishvara. There's so many Buddhas. And now we're on slide 406. Talking about spiritual eyes. We all are endowed with spiritual eyes, but depending on your level, you have different eyes that can be open. So nothing new. So your cultivation. So example, I said you are at a certain level is also implicitly telling you that if you really spend the time, you can cultivate and open the eyes that corresponds to your level of samadhi. We don't do that ourselves. It's because we discourage you from doing that, because once you open these eyes, you easily get distracted. That's what you do all day long, and use your eyes to look at things. All right? And you'll be stuck. And that's why this is what happens to a lot of people. A lot of teachers, they impress others like the Buddha did by manifesting spiritual powers. The difference is that Buddhas only manifest spiritual powers because those spiritual powers are serving him to do his work without stopping his progress. Whereas if you haven't reached a level of wisdom yet, you open these eyes, it's very easy for you to become attached to these eyes. And you will it will be very hard for you to continue to make progress. What's the big deal? If you're level 4A, you open your eyes, your first three eyes, okay? And you can see a lot of wonderful things up to 100 worlds. And that's why you can spend so much time looking and looking and looking. You never run out of things to look. If you like YouTube, if you open your heavenly eyes, you can see so much more on YouTube. And YouTube by a factor to the exponential, okay? So you never run out of things to look at, and therefore you have no more time to cultivate. All right? So you see, it's very impressive for 4th stage Arhat to be able to open these eyes. You can see up to 100 worlds and so forth. But if you were to be able to get to higher levels like a bodhisattva, you can see far greater number of worlds. You can see much further with far greater details and so forth. So that's why the non-Buddhists, they don't understand it. When they open these spiritual eyes, they are impressed by it, and they use it to impress their pupils. They need support. That's why that's as far as they can get. Whereas in Buddhism, we know we have quite a ways to go. And quite often, the spiritual eyes actually are detrimental to your further progress. That's why we don't emphasize it, unlike my teacher. Okay? My teacher, there's an advantage of opening these eyes that, for example, heavenly eyes enables you to see cause and effect. So you can see the connection, why it's happening to you, why you're having some difficulties right now. You look and use your eyes, you're having some difficulties right now. It's because in the past you did this, okay? And that's very useful in that sense. And also they could say, because you're doing this right now, you're stealing from your customers, from the people who trust you. And they open their eyes and say, because you're doing this right now, in the future, you'll be very poor and you work for free for those people who stole from and you to pay back the debts. You see? So that's why Master YongHua encourages pupils to open these eyes, because it helps them understand more about Buddhism. That's a good side of it. The flip side of it is that they stuck. These people, they're able to see that, and they walk around looking at CNC and say, you an abbot, can you see what I can see? And the abbot says, no, I can't. I say, what kind of abbots are you? Your master says you're better than me. How come you don't have any eyes? Yes, you see, so there's a disadvantage in that, okay, where we have no eyes, we're simply blind, okay? But on the other hand, the advantage is that you won't be thinking as highly of yourself as special. I can see this, I can see that, okay? Remember, folks, cultivation is about wisdom. It's not about seeing. It's not about impressing others. Okay? And therefore, Buddha taught this to help us develop our wisdom. Once you have wisdom and you are no longer distracted by any spiritual powers, then it's safe for you to have spiritual powers. Does it make sense? So it's okay. Let these people laugh at you, because you say, okay, you wait until I open my eyes and see things you cannot see, huh? And I become so much richer than you. I can see the super lotto. You only see small things. I see big things. However, we can do both ways. We can sacrifice some of you to open the eyes, okay, so that you can see the super lotto. Teji Sunim. She looks like a good candidate for that. Okay? All right. Any volunteers? Raise your hands, please. We need someone to make sacrifices. Sacrifice your progress and open your eyes for the sake of our association. Raise your hand, please. Maybe. Come on. And it's not just here WFT. How about DTT, JC, JF? We're taking applications. Anyone? Okay, think about it, okay? Go for us. You guys can also participate and make sacrifices for the greater good of the community. Okay, we need more money. So open your eyes and see. Now we have XZ, who now will make sacrifices. Say goodbye to him, guys, because we leave him behind the dust. Okay, so it says here in 406, the Tathagata possessed flesh eye up to Buddha eye. Shubhuti says, yes, of course, Buddha has that. Okay, the verse says, pure, extensive, and broad, refers to the eyes of the Buddha. Okay, because this Baoji, this elder son, he looked at the Buddha and said, oh, wow, for he as an elder son, like a regular human being, but he's able to see the Buddha. So they tell you that he's not really an ordinary person, but he's actually a Mahasattva. Okay, and therefore, pure refers to free from defilements, extensive and broad. Refers extensive is length, broad refers to width. Okay, and so you see the two dimensions horizontally and vertically, I suppose. Okay, and so the Buddha eyes are pure because it's free from any afflictions, and extensive and broad, meaning that it's not the size here, but it symbolizes the ability to see everywhere in all dimensions. Extensive is very broad, okay, very in this direction. Broad is probably in this direction. All right. Like blue lotuses, this is an analogy. Blue lotuses that there are a lot of blue lotuses in the Western Bliss Pure Land. When you go there, you find out for yourself, and I hope you will you'll verify for yourself soon. And they're very broad, and you find out that the Buddha's eyes will look like blue lotuses, broad and extensive and pure. And so purity here refers to the fact that it's useful. You go in the mud and you don't get soiled. You go and live amongst defilements, amongst afflicted people, and yet you're not afflicted yourself. Okay? And that requires strength. Not to be affected. And furthermore, we will give you some explanation of the 5 eyes again to sort of plant the seeds for you to be able to develop them easier when you're ready, if you're interested. If you're not interested, we can skip this. Who was it that volunteered to open the heavenly eye to see the Super Lotto? And so there's a flesh eye here. How do you open the flesh eye? How did the Buddha open his flesh eyes? And through cultivation of meritorious deeds, meaning you do things to benefit others, not benefit yourself. Okay. Those of you who are interested in opening your eyes, pay attention to this, just in case, okay? And after this list, you go to this list, maybe you change your mind and we have more applicants, okay? We could take up to 3, just in case the first 2 fails. Okay? So you need to plant a lot of meritorious deeds, do a lot of things to benefit others. Instead of you ordinary people always plotting and scheming to benefit themselves, you plot and scheme to benefit others. That's a mindset, first of all. Okay? And non-stop. You don't say, oh, I've done enough today, I'm going to take a break. No. You skip vacations, you skip holidays, you work on weekends to cultivate meritorious deeds. Okay, dokie? Okay, meritorious meaning that others also recognize it as beneficial. Not just you, not just us, but the world recognizes it, okay, as something that is beneficial. Furthermore, there's an absence of evil karma. What is it referring to? Refers to refrain from doing evil. I hope you're taking notes because this is important. This is the 5 eyes we're talking about. No one is taking notes. Yeah. Okay? That's purity. Okay? So that's what you need. So you need to create a lot of blessings and you refrain from doing evil. Simple enough? Is that clear? Okay. Next. Heavenly eye. This is the eye that enables you to see the super lotto more precisely. Okay? That's not beat around the bush. Hey, G.I. Joe, if you open this eye, okay, you can have a lot of money and lots of girlfriends. Girlfriends are expensive nowadays. Okay? Have always been, huh? It's just becoming more expensive with tariffs and everything else. Okay, so how do you open heavenly eye? Teiji Sunim, please pay attention. Meditation, that's what you do. So far, so good. Checked. Meditation, chant meditation. Huh? Everyone, huh? Chant meditation. Removal of coverings. Okay, we go into coverings a little bit later. Yeah, there you go. Okay, pay attention now. Okay, this is important. This is for the sake of money. You get rid of your coverings. So far, so good. And you purify faculty, therefore it's called pure. Okay, you see, so basically two things, you meditate and you eliminate your coverings. The rest we don't care. Okay? Are we still together? Are you paying attention? Okay, what are the 5 coverings? Coverings are 5 kinds. What are they? Why are they called coverings? God, today there aren't enough people paying attention. Okay, we take 5 applicants then. Okay, what are the 5 coverings? Coverings here, the concept of covering is gai, Chinese gai. Okay, fu gai, it covers up. Okay, and the problem with covering is that if you have these coverings, goodness cannot arise. You cannot give rise to goodness in your heart. Big problem. You see, you think that goodness is only like an ideal, something nice. No. Goodness equals heavenly eye, equals money, super lotto. Oh well. And the goodness can arise because you have 5 types of afflictions that cover up your goodness. Okay? What are the 5? Greed and desire. Okay? Greed and desire, meaning you have the 5 desires. Okay? And the problem with 5 desires, what are the 5 desires? Anyone remembers? Wu yu, food, fame, what else? Sleep, very good. And what else?
Wealth, money.
Wealth, very good. And what else? The last one. Last one that I don't know. I can't think of what the 5th one could be.
Sir.
Oh, sex. I almost forgot. Okay? Food, fame, sleep, sex, and wealth. See the problem? You want to open the heavenly eye so that you can see the super lotto, but guess what? You're greedy for money, therefore you won't be able to open it. See the dilemma? Huh? This is a story of my life. I'm doing it for you, okay? But I want more money, and because I want more money to do it for you. I cannot see the super lotto numbers. So we need a real pure person. Master Z, you it right? Master Z will sacrifice everything. Okay, truly pure. No fame, no food. That's not going to help. Sex, sleep. We know that he doesn't sleep anymore. That's easy already. The sex, hopefully he'll keep it up. And you have to sign a contract. If you win Super Lotto, it goes to me. See that? This is a problem. We are full desires. That's why we have coverings of greed and desires. Okay? That's why now you understand why Master YongHua says, I wish you open your heavenly eye, because it shows that you are quite pure. Okay? Number 2, what kind of covering are we talking about? Anger. Isn't it interesting? When you have anger, you are covering your goodness. You drown in your own afflictions. Okay? And yet, my Republican disciples in Gulf Force, they're so angry at Democrats. Okay? Whenever I go up there, I talked about my president. The first thing I said, no, I disagree. I said, this guy is a bad dude. No, I disagree. Putin must have something on him. No, I disagree. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Okay? And they come to lunch every day to make sure to remind me of that. Okay? So much anger. Yeah. Okay? You waiting. So you're angry because things don't happen the way you want. That's why you're angry. They only want to hear praises only on my president. Okay? Down here, I don't praise him as much. So far, so good? Okay. Third one, sloth and torpor. Okay? Meaning a sleepiness. Okay? You feel sleepy, that's a covering. That's why when you meditate, and you feel sleepy and you're dozing off, this is when you remember, oops, I'm under covering. Therefore, you fight and fight and fight. Don't say, Okay, no one is watching. Everyone is sleeping. What's the harm? It's no harm except you're covering yourself. Things that you do to yourself and you blame others. You indulge in sleep, and that's how you're covering yourself. Okay? Number 4, restlessness. You are agitated. Your mind is agitated. And you are afflicted and you're worried when you go about doing things. Agitated. Okay? How many people you know who's like that? Most people you know are like that, right? At work, yeah? Many agitated people. Okay? And so when you see agitated people, you know they're covered up. It's very difficult to reach them. Okay? All right? So you want to open your heavenly eye, you cannot be agitated. So far, so good. Seems like people are not interested in opening the eye here at all. Look at JMT. And the guy in the first row is dozing off. Okay. Yeah. Did you volunteer access to open the heavenly eye? Would you like to volunteer?
I think I don't. Thank you.
He'd rather be sleepy. So selfish. Okay. How about XJ? Would you like to sacrifice yourself for the good of the community?
Master, maybe not now, maybe later.
So Chinese. Promises.
Yeah.
Okay. So restless and sleepiness. And number 5, finally, doubt. Okay. Doubt is that you keep on going back and forth. Okay. You go back and forth, and therefore you cannot have good judgment. You cannot decide. So far, so good? Okay. These are the 5 types of coverings that if you see people who are in the midst who are like this, immersed in these 5 coverings, you know that you have to be careful. Okay? It's very hard for these people to do good because they're too afflicted. Okay? And so I would, if I were you, I would memorize these 5 coverings. Greed and desire, right? I'm not cheating. Okay? What else? Anger, greed, and anger. That's easy to remember. Third one, sloth and torpor. Yeah, sleepiness. Okay, number 4, restlessness. Number 5 is the easiest, because I see it in all of you. Doubt. Really? Is it for real? This is not what he's talking about. Okay, got that? If you have these 5 types of afflictions, it's very hard for you to bring goodness from your heart. Yes, sir, too.
Master, don't we have all of these to some degree or another as human beings?
You do, yeah, it's true. Anyone who doesn't have these 5 coverings is worse for some people than others. Okay, for certain things. For example, Mama here, who is first stage Arhat, I like to brag about it. Oh, settle down. It's the old news now. Okay, what's her problem? Ask the woman. Maybe we'll volunteer to open the eye. She's good enough to open the heavenly eye and see the super lotto, I assure you. Okay? Explain to her, would you like to volunteer to open the eye? But before you volunteer, now you need to take care of the 5 coverings. Greed and desire, okay, woman? Okay? No anger. Okay, anger is good. She can work with Xian Tung, therefore cannot be angry. If you get abused, she doesn't get angry. Okay? And she doesn't sleep at all. Look at her. She's too old, too skinny. Okay? And then restlessness, that's her problem. This one cannot stand still. This is the biggest problem. Doubt, lots of doubts, but it's restlessness that is the big killer for her. True? Huh? Is it true you are restless? Okay, so these are the 5 coverings. They sound harmless, but look at the harm it does. If you have these 5 coverings, then your spiritual eyes are much harder to open. You see, so we have these to some extent. Some are worse than others. That's why it's hard for us. However, the great news is that all you need to do is control these 5 coverings for a short period of time, long enough for you to open your heavenly eye and look at this and see the super lotto. After that, we don't care. This is why we're teaching you. You see that? It's not permanent. We don't care. It's open for a moment. That's all. Master Z, you get it? It's okay. You can be yourself after. Isn't that cool? So you think we're totally useless, right? Like poor Ron, he said, he goes home, his wife asks him, why you go to the temple? What for? Now Ron comes back and tells his wife, today I learned how to make more money for Master. Because you make money for yourself, it won't work. Forget about Jung. He only makes money for the wife. Got that? Interesting. Now you see why we have this problem. We tell you too much, you become greedy. And become greedy, you can open your eye. But if we don't tell you enough, then you say, who cares about the heavenly eye? I'm telling you, it's important. Yes, 6.
Hello, Master. Thank you very much for helping my mom. It made me really happy.
Why?
Thank you so much.
Why? You're going to open your eye? You're going to volunteer? Remember, cannot do it for yourself. This is the problem.
Master, I don't think I have that kind of blessing, but I would like to share a story. Maybe then more people would like to find it interesting. I know of a real case, somebody, he does a lot of giving, like helping other people, giving out food, and he doesn't have desire for food. He does meditate.
Okay.
What he could do is, when somebody, buying horses, when somebody gave him the book, he looked at it and he wanted to buy it. There are certain horses would kind of jump up, and then he would buy those and he would win.
That's heavenly eye right there. That's right, that's it. That's heavenly eye. Okay, he has it. What's his name?
You want to do advertisement for him? He didn't pay us. Thank you.
Where as soon as you come to him and say, will you help me? I give you half of my winnings. He can't see anymore. This is a problem. Okay? So it's not that simple. But we can put our minds together and open this eye. One person only. We only need one volunteer. Jesse. You seem to be the purest guy. You have to give away all your winnings, okay? You cannot keep it for yourself. So we're looking for poor people. Only because we have no one rich enough to bother with us. Anyone else? Now you know how to make, to be the secret to success and great fortunes. You guys learn all the wrong stuff at universities. Okay, how about you take a look and say, oh, good stock. Anyone would like to volunteer? No? You're all so pure. I'm so impressed. Okay. So affliction is covering. Remember, if you're afflicted, you are hurting yourself. If you're angry at someone, you think, oh my God, what would I give to be able to punch him? Okay? You simply are hurting yourself first. Before you can give that punch, throw that punch, you're hurting yourself already because you cannot open your eye. Questions? Okay. So, why, and Master Chucha explains further, why it's difficult to give rise to goodness when you have these 5 coverings. Okay? It's very interesting to me. He says, when you have greed and desire, and plus anger, who doesn't? Right? If you have greedy, you have a lot of desires, and you're angry, and then you have problems with keeping rules of morality. So be careful. The people who are greedy, okay, very greedy, don't hang near them, okay, because they will eventually bite you in the butt themselves. Okay, so tips about life for you. Instead of looking at fortune, let's say you're about to get married, and usually in Asia we go to a fortune teller or physiognomist and say, how does my future wife look? Is she going to be a good person? No, a better way is that you can look at these coverings here. If she's greedy and has a lot of desires and prone to anger, next. So far, so good? Boy, am I saving a lot of grief in the world if the world simply pays attention, okay? If you like to sleep a lot, you have no wisdom. Okay? So far, so good? Okay? People who like to sleep a lot, you have no wisdom whatsoever. So, for example, many people I know have depression. They like to sleep a lot. Okay? These people, don't expect them to have wisdom. Okay? If you plan to find a wife and the potential candidate is sleepy and sleeps a lot because of depression, I would never, ever move forward. Okay? We're saving you a lot of grief. Thank us later. Okay? If you're restless and you're doing evil, not only you're restless, you also do a lot of evil stuff. You have no samadhi. Meaning that you practice Chan, you have to be worried about restlessness, agitation, and refrain from doing evil. Because doing evil will prevent you from developing samadhi. This is a tips from the sages that they understand the process. So I find it fascinating. Okay, that's why I want to teach pupils. I see some who have a lot of doubt. Okay, so much doubt. I tried for a long time. After a while, I said, "It's okay, son. Goodbye." Okay, because the more I invest in people who have doubt, eventually they cannot open their wisdom. Anyone? Think about it. See, from a teacher perspective, my job is to help you open your wisdom. So my job is to help you resolve your doubt. But some people, it doesn't matter. They doubt and doubt and doubt. So eventually, after a while, as you realize that you cannot resolve the doubt, then time to move on. That's for you future teachers. Too much doubt? Not much potential. Okay? People who are like to do are prone to evils, especially who don't believe in Buddhism. Okay? And restless. Okay? Then impossible to practice Chan. Okay? So to me, I find this fascinating. It's so interesting. Okay? And this is actually, looking back at my 20-year career, this is so true. I've seen such people. Okay? So insightful, let me tell you. So I would pay attention to this for your reference. Any questions? Tips. This is wisdom, folks. This is experience. These great teachers know the pitfalls. They understand the reason why you don't make it. Some people don't make it. This is the reason. Okay? Yes, in the back.
Hello. I have a question. So, I know somebody like he likes to think like when people walking, he likes to see people fall down, so it's entertaining. Or if you're carrying like an expensive laptop, he will be thinking, drop it. Oh, he didn't drop it. So what kind of karma is that, and what would be the retribution? Thank you.
First of all, is this person here?
You got it, sir.
Are we thinking of the same person? Run.
So from a Buddhist...
It's hopeless.
So what would be the karmic retribution for that?
Who cares?
I do, Master.
It's none of our business. We Buddhists.
I would like to scare him back.
We mind our Buddhist business. It saves so much time and grief. Move on. Okay? I refuse to answer because it's none of my business. My Buddhist business. Okay. 4:14. Third eye. As you remember, the first two are sort of worldly. You practice, you have these ability. You can see money. You can see where the gold is, where you can go and you look at the mountain and say, I see lithium. Okay? And you can buy the mountain and become rich overnight. Okay? So you don't think it's useful, huh? See, some people understand why we want to do chant, because you can make a lot of money. And after that, say, the heck with chant. I'm too rich now to worry about chant anymore. See what I mean? Okay. But remember me, after you get rich, I'm the one who gave you all these hints. Huh? Don't think small, folks. You're so small. You think about, about a promotion and a project. I'm thinking about a mountain of lithium, of gold, of silver. You look at it, oh, silver, oh, diamond. Huh? Nickel, what? Bitcoin? A mountain Bitcoin. Where did this guy come from? We want real precious things. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have a YouTube question from Highlight Long. He says, is sit-sleeping helpful to get rid of sloth and torpor?
No, it makes you sleepier. Sit-sleeping helps reduce your desire. It helps more on the first covering. If you have a lot of greed and desire, you sit-sleep. That's why. Okay? Because when you do that, then you are more sleepy, and that's why I just want to sleep, just leave me alone. Make sense? It's so logical. It all ties together, folks. All right. So far, you got two eyes, right? Okay? Worldly things. You can see worldly things, and they're extremely beneficial, let me tell you. Don't think that we're doing this because you're stupid. We're stupid. We're doing this because we can have these choices of becoming very wealthy, very rich, but we choose not to, so that we can open our wisdom eye. Got that? You should not be greedy. Free from inside and outside of worldview and thought delusions. Okay? In order for you to open your wisdom eye, meaning when you look at something, your wisdom is activated right away. You look and your wisdom kicks in. You say, no, not this one. No, not that one either. Yeah, that's my wife right there. Okay, that's wisdom. Can't you think of anything more important than that? No, see? All right, so wisdom. You open wisdom. How do you open your wisdom? This is very important. These are tips for you because it happened before. This is the model we use to help our people develop their wisdom. It's not wishful thinking. It's a track record. It's proven recipe. Okay? You must be free inside and outside of view delusions and thought delusions. Got that? So there's some delusions, they are not conducive to your opening your wisdom. In other words, when you have those in your mind in a state of delusion, forget it. You cannot use your wisdom eye. You really have your wisdom eye, you need to get out of those states of delusions before your wisdom eye can be activated. Same thing. We're not asking you, again, Master Z, it doesn't have to worry about it. You can be sleepy and all those things temporarily, but when you need to open your eyes, your heavenly eyes, that's when you cannot be greedy and have desire, you cannot be angry, you cannot be sleepy, you cannot be restless, you can have no doubt. And once you open, you see the thing, then you can go back to your normal self, sleepy and everything else. Yeah, cool? I'm offering you a real thing. You know, if you know how to do it, like you just have to concentrate and do it for a while, and then after that you come back to your ugly self. But worldly people don't know that. That's why I say, I'm happy, I'm rich, I'm successful, I'm powerful. I'm the emperor. You know that in the history of mankind, even emperors or presidents and so forth are not as wealthy as an elder or lay people. You know that? Okay? And so, sounds good, everyone? Huh? Are we learning something useful today? I assure you, you invest the time doing this, you can make a lot of money. And remember me. Huh? I'm supposed to be pure, that's why I cannot indulge in this. Okay, but you can. I only hope for 10%. That may make me so happy. Daniel, would you like to volunteer to open your heavenly eye? He says no to everything I ask. Too much doubt, forget it. Won't work. Okay, so you have thought delusions and view delusions. I don't know if they explain this later or no. Okay, they didn't explain it. But anyway, the point here is that wisdom eye, meaning that you look at things and you have wisdom. Wisdom meaning you're free from afflictions. Okay? That's why it's called wisdom. Whereas right now, whatever you look at, you're afflicted. Yeah? Yes, ma'am.
For the first two, I mastered the flesh eye and the heavenly eyes. What about the people who were born with seeing things? Those covering apply to them?
The one with what?
They're born with seeing things. They see the heaven, they see Pure Land, they see Buddha. So although heavenly eyes, or does the covers, the five cover apply to them?
Yeah, coverings, and they apply. But it brings back to what I remember, one of my first disciples. He told his daughter to take refuge with me. So the daughter came to learn Chan, and she sort of didn't like having to cross her legs. But she came back home. She went home and meditated anyway. And then, lo and behold, the following week, she came back and she said, you know, it's fascinating. I meditated like you taught me, and I'm able to see the heavens. I'm able to see the Pure Land. I said, wow. So impressive. How can you make progress so fast? Actually, within weeks, she went up to third dhyana, I remember vaguely, third dhyana, very quickly. That's one of the fastest in my disciples. I was so impressed. Wow, I finally found a worthy disciple. She has potential. And I asked her more, what do you do? She says, I'm in the film business. You know, I have two sons. They are like they are actors in Disney movies. You probably heard of his name. I think they're too old now. Okay, this is 20 years ago. And I said, wow, that's so impressive. But in that industry, the film entertainment industry, do you worry your sons might be tempted to use drugs? And she says, no worries, I use it every day. I'm very experienced. This is why all the visions, the heavens and the Buddha lands. And she took refuge. She's my disciple too. Need I elaborate more, those who can see Pure Lands? When I saw that, when she told me I could see the Western Bliss Pure Land, I said, uh-oh, one of those. But I patiently asked and asked, investigated. Eventually, it's the... This lady here clearly does not understand what means. Lena, please explain to her in Chinese. Yes, JC.
위해서는 어떻게 해야 되는지 알려줄 수 있나요? 제가 마음이 안정되지 못하고 불안할 때가 많은데 도거를 없애기 위해서 어떻게 해야 되는지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Master, sometimes I don't feel stable. My mind is nervous all the time. How do I get rid of these feelings?
I was about to propose that he tries the heavenly eye, but apparently he's too restless. So forget it. What do? Meditate more. Okay, when you feel restless, okay, if you have a chance, cross your legs until your restlessness goes away. That's all. Okay? If it doesn't work, then you can add to it by reciting some mantras. There are lots of mantras that would be helpful to you. Okay? Talk to the local sanghas. They can help you choose a few mantras that might work for you. All right? No worries. That's natural to be restless. Anyone else? Restless is easy to deal with. It's a doubt that's very difficult to undo. Because it will take you so far, and then eventually your lack of faith will eventually catch up with you. So don't believe all the sweet nothings he tells you. Nah. Okay? All right. People have no doubt, or have no faith, and would are severely limited in terms of development of wisdom. Okay? Here, going back to slide 415. Okay? You have this something called view delusions and thought delusions. We explain later elsewhere in the lectures, probably tomorrow or so. But here's what, this is important. These concepts are very important for you to memorize. Okay, these are the few things I asked you to memorize because they are big hindrances to your wisdom development. Okay, view delusions and thought delusions. View delusion is that when you see a state, you see outside, and you give rise to greed and desire. That's a view delusion. Okay? Is that clear? You see things and you give rise to greed and desire. Is that clear? And guess what? With the advent of the influencers, Okay, a lot of the influencers, okay, they work on the hair and the makeup and so forth, and because it helps make it help them look more presentable. Okay, and what people don't realize that those followers have a lot of greed and desire. Do we understand each other? You know what I mean? You don't? Never mind. Okay, you see, that's what happens. Especially in some cultures where you have to have a perfect jaw line, okay, perfect skin, okay, and so you look at the culture, you look at the people propensities, you can tell that some people are very prone to greed and desire, meaning that they have a lot of view delusions. For example, okay, if you look at something, okay, that is very attractive, like a golden thing, okay, and you give rise to greed, you say, I want to have it. What if the golden thing is basically gold paint? It's not really a car made of gold, but actually a car painted in gold paint. You see that? It's no real intrinsic value in something that's painted in gold versus gold. So that delusion is that you're drawn to something superficial of no great value. That's what view delusion means. So it's by definition, view delusion is you look at the state, meaning you see something, and give rise to desire. You say, I want it. I want that red car. Oops, no. Except for red cars. Okay? You see that? What else? Anyone would like to give an example? I'll just give an example of a red car. Those people who ask for red cars have view delusions, clearly. Yes, Daniel, would be nice today.
For me, I like computers.
Clearly, view delusion. Anyone else would like to share his or her view delusions? So you see a state, you encounter a state, and you give rise to view delusions. Give an example on a political scene. You hear someone tell you, I will end the war in 1 day. And you like it. Lots of view delusions right there. And we're not going to name names. Any problems? Anyone from Gold Forest? Do you understand view delusions in Gold Forest, people? Huh? Is that clear? Show to me you understand view delusion. Give an example of your view delusions. Anyone in Gold Forest? And I mean it, anyone. Non-stupid person. Example of view delusion.
We cannot hear you. Go first.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Go first.
Dạ thưa thầy, con nghĩ con được có wisdom.
No. No.
Hello, Master. I think that I have wisdom.
No, you don't. Okay, Nacho, give an example of a view delusion.
Emitofuo Master, maybe when I think about getting more money.
More money.
Yeah.
So you're attached to money. View delusion, that's very good. Okay, I think we run out of deluded people and go forth already. JC.
네, 아미타불 마스터. 저는 요즘에 집을 저희
This one has no view delusion whatsoever. I'm going to tell you that right now.
스님, 저는 요즘에 저희 가족이 살 수 있는 저희 집을 가지고 싶습니다.
Master, these days, I like to have a home that my family could live all together.
Clearly, view delusion. Okay. Okay, I think that's enough. Yes, go first.
Hi, Master. One example of view delusion is I want a handsome husband.
Definitely a view delusion, severe view delusion. A husband or boyfriend?
Either way is fine.
Two view delusions. Okay, very good. Thought delusions. Okay, thought delusions are what are thought delusions? You have plenty of time to look it up already. Thought delusions are that you are confused about the principle and give rise to discrimination. And clearly, you all have thought delusions. You discriminate, don't you? Mama. Clearly, thought delusion, thank you. Got that? When you have discriminating mind, okay, which we are most very proud of, Chung, is that what you tried to say? Yes. Yeah, he's very proud. He said, I'm a very smart man. I can tell good from bad. Okay? That's thought delusions. Yes, sir, two. Go ahead.
Master, I guess I always thought that every thought was essentially an illusion, a delusion, that we're always just thinking wrong.
No, not necessarily. There are good thoughts and bad thoughts. You cannot lump them all together. Okay? Good thought is to end the war. Bad thought is try to use it to con people. So good and bad happen at the same time. See that? It's a good aspiration, but there's a purpose behind it. Yes, DTT.
마스터, 분별을 한 후에 사견을 버린 다음에 전견을 가질 수 있는 건 아닌가요?
She misses home.
Master, by eliminating discrimination mind, I could accept the deviant, and the next step is the deviant thought, and the next one is the right, proper thought.
The definition of thought delusion is that you're confused about the principles. That's why you give rise to discrimination. That's all it means.
그러니까 마스터, 제 질문은 분별이 그러니까 제대로 된 분별이 있어야 정견을 가질 수 있는 게 아닌가가 제 질문인 거예요.
So my question is, you got to have a proper discrimination in order to have a proper thought. That was my question, Master.
Proper discrimination and proper thought? Sounds like thought delusion right there. Okay, that's 2 questions for today. Okay, anyone else? Okay, you just have to memorize the definition, eventually be clearer and clearer. I don't want to explain everything and because in the future I have to repeat it because you don't understand anyway, you don't get it anyway, and you forget anyway. All you have to remember today is heavenly I and super lotto. That's not forget about the main principle. Yes, too.
Master, I would just love clarification. So if you said that thought delusion is not understanding the proper principles, which causes to discrimination to arise, what are the proper principles?
The principles such as the 4 Noble Truths. The middle way, those are the proper principles. You're confused about them, that's why you discriminate. You begin give rise to discrimination. You think you understand, for example, and you don't. Okay, it's a misunderstanding of the principle to give rise to discrimination. That's called thought delusions. Okay, as long as you have view delusions and thought delusions, you are not in a state of wisdom. Do not be mistaken like the average Buddhist disciple. They said, I have wisdom, therefore I have no more delusions. No such a thing. Your wisdom is when you are in that state only. Okay, when you get out of that state, you become deluded like the rest of us. And this is why most Buddhists are pretty cheap. They think that, now they have wisdom, they got the 4-stage arhat, therefore now they're home free. They have no more delusions. No such luck, buddy. You have to enter this samadhi of 4-stage arhat for you to be free from delusions. If you're not there, you're just deluded like the rest of us. And the Asian Buddhists would love to believe that they're free because they're cheap. They said, I'm Master certified me in 4-stage arhat. I have no more delusion. Please. I never certified that. I only certify that at times you can be from delusions, free from delusions, but most of the time you're not. Loser. Got that? Aren't you grateful that I unveiled the state secrets to you so that the Asians continue to be confused and oh, I made it, I mean, hooray, hooray, I'm special. Excuse me? If you were that special, I'd be so nice to you already. Okay? Questions and comments? It's work in progress. It's part of the fun, folks. It makes you humble. Okay? And makes you human. We still have this human body. We still owe our family. We still owe a lot of people. Therefore, we need to pay back our debts and connect with them in a human way. You don't just become help and wisdom. Say, okay, thanks, son. I'm out of here. You're so confused. I want nothing to do with you because I have wisdom now. Okay? All right. So that's what you see. If you have, we don't go to Dharma eye yet. Don't have time for that. Okay. So wisdom eye. Okay. So that's why you eventually will. You have to memorize. This is one of the few things I ask you to memorize. Is for your own sake. It makes it easier for you to understand how to open your wisdom eye by understanding the principles behind it. Okay, so you need to understand what are the nature of the view delusions, thought delusions that prevent you from opening your wisdom eye, so that you know when people talk to you and they make these claims and this, and you see that they're tinted with view and thought delusions, you know it's not the wisdom eye talking. You got that? To me, Mahayana is very practical. Very, very practical. It's not something that you read about and you lecture about and you walk away feeling good about yourself. No, it's something you use every day to improve the quality of your life. Okay? Does it help? I'm into practical Mahayana. Okay? It's a discovery every day to see why certain things, why is that you sometimes are able to see, sometimes you are not able to see. Okay? All right. We stop here today. Thank you, everyone. Please see Master C if those of you who plan to volunteer for the Heavenly Eye opening ceremony. It's amazing. Usually, most of the Buddhists say, me, I like to volunteer. Look at all you say, I don't know. You're so selfish.